All right, you guys, I'm super excited to show you around this place. This is our newest investment property, and I will share more with you on how we found it and all the numbers around it and what we're going to do with it in a later portion of the video. But for now, I want to take you inside and give you an idea of some of the improvements we're going to make, some of the costs associated. That's that. Follow us. Don't look at my code. It's top secret. Looks really good in here. All right, so a few of the things that we're going to do. First, paint. Carpet needs to be replaced. We had our carpet guy over here. His name is Andy. You guys will probably meet Andy at some point. Andy had a great idea, which saved us a bunch of money. We were planning on coming in and putting in new hard surface throughout the entire main level. And Andy said, well, wait a second. I actually have some scraps that were rejected from a different property that go with sort of your tan tones and such in here. And it's commercial grade carpet, and so it feels like a residential. In fact, he just put it in his house for his kids in the basement, and he thought it would look really good. So we're gonna go with a tan commercial grade carpet. It'll stay cleaner for longer. We won't have to deal with hard surface, and then it allows us to save the kitchen, the bathroom, the upstairs bathroom. All these linoleums are in actually really good shape, and so we figured, why take them out if we don't have to? All right, so going into the kitchen. A couple things that we're gonna do here, obviously light fixtures, paint, all the basic things like that. We're gonna probably do new window treatments, pendant light above the sink. But a really easy way to make the kitchen shine is we are going to just get rid of these appliances. And even though they work just fine, we felt like you can get such a good deal on appliance packages these days that having a nice stainless package is going to attract the type of person, the type of tenant that we wanna attract. And so we felt like it made sense to spend a little bit more there. In terms of paint throughout the entire unit, we're actually gonna keep this color. So our painter said he could easily find a match for it, and he's gonna come in and touch the entire thing up, and that way we don't have to worry about painting the entire property again. Colors will go just fine with everything that we have. So I think that's pretty much it in here. We're gonna take the curtain rods down. So this stuff will all come out. We'll put our own rods up, but we're gonna make the tenant provide their own curtains. Then when a new tenant comes in, they can just pull their curtains off and hang whichever ones they want. So that's the plan in the kitchen. All right, follow me this way. In here, not a whole lot will change. Obviously, new flooring we already talked about. And that's pretty much it in here. Paint, touch-ups, that's about it. Christmas in July. All right, so now we are upstairs to the bedrooms. We talked about replacing these fans. And then we realized that a lot of times fans in investment properties get kind of beat up, they get dirty, kids throw things in them, they get broken. So we're just gonna replace that with a flush mount light. We're gonna do the same thing with the window treatments as we did down in the kitchen that I explained to you. We're just gonna hang rods and let the tenant choose their style from there. So here's the bathroom upstairs. The linoleum floor is in really good shape. We thought about switching it out, but this is a budget-friendly job. You know, that's why we're not going crazy on finishes and painting, and it will rent really quick. It's one of the most affordable areas in the whole in the whole town of Apple Valley, really. So, but some other little updates we're gonna make. Hardware throughout. So all these brass or I guess brass knobs that you see will all be replaced, and that helps really make it feel more updated. This is gonna be the second bedroom upstairs. So where this is capped off right now, this room is run with lamps on a switch. We're gonna put actual flush mount light there, just like we are in the other bedroom when we replace that lamp. Like this vent right here, we're gonna have our friend Matt at True Duct. They do duct cleaning. He's gonna come in and clean out all the duct work, all the bathroom fans, things like that. All right, so this is a tough one for me. Laundry machines work just fine, but we can get a really good deal on newer machines. Right now I'm trying to figure out if I wanna go and spend a little extra money and put newer machines in here, but stand by on that. I haven't made that decision yet. So I think it's important on properties like this to not go crazy. You know, we obviously could go in and update all the trim to make it white and paint the cabinets and put hardware on and do all these beautiful things. But at the end of the day, it's probably not gonna get us more rent. I think if we get this place freshly painted, fresh flooring, new appliances, we're gonna max out at probably somewhere between $1,800 and $2,000 a month for this unit, which is pretty solid. So we're in the diligence period right now on this property, which just means we still have time to make some decisions, have inspections if we want to have inspections, review the HOA documents to make sure that the HOA allows rentals, which we've already made sure of, And so at this point, what I'm doing is I'm going through the property and I'm taking inventory. So I've got on my phone, you'll see a whole notes section, which just has, and that's all I use, it's nothing sexy. It's literally just the notes section on my phone. And I went through and I took inventory of all the things that we're gonna need. So things like doorknobs, I have a count of how many doorknobs, I have a count of how many knobs with locks on them. I've got kitchen chandelier, I've got pendant light over the sink. Be as specific as you can. And then also with things like appliances, know the sizes you need, know whether they're gas or electric, because the last thing you want to do when you're out at the store is come back and have to re-look because you didn't get certain dimensions. Yeah, I'm just taking inventory, making a list, going to Menards, getting everything I can. Obviously, while we're standing there, we can shop on some other websites too, but I have found for investment property specifically, Menards typically has the best deals, especially if you're buying things in bulk like hardware, doorknobs, stuff like that. So this rental will not be furnished. The tenant will be responsible to bring in all their own furniture and all their own kitchen utensils, tables, things like that. If we decide to go to like a midterm rental, which I don't think will happen, then we would look into that. But right now we have not budgeted to furnish it. So it will just be here fresh and ready for the next tenant and they can do whatever they want. All right guys, we're just getting done with our run to Menards. We spent about $800, which is pretty good really. So right now we are unloading the car. We're gonna set everything here for Jeremy, our handyman, to install while we are away in Texas. And hopefully when we come back, we've got new lights, new curtain rods, paint's done, all of that good stuff. So we're gonna unload this in the garage. We're gonna label where it goes so that he knows where to put it, and we'll keep you guys posted. All right, what's up guys? We are here at the property. We've got some awesome little updates we did. I'm gonna walk you through this here and show you kind of what we did. The place looks completely different. It even smells different here. So check this out. We got new carpet. Here's why a good flooring guy will take you so much further than you can do it by yourself. He came in here, he said, Trent, we've got some really nice scrap left over from a job. It got returned. It's about $35 a yard if you were to pay full price. But since it's sitting in the warehouse, they'll give it to you for $5 per yard. And so we put that in and I'm so glad we did. Another thing that we did is we pre-hung all the curtain rods. Why did we do that? Because tenants don't really understand, actually a lot of people don't understand exactly the height that those should be hung at. And this way it's there, it's static, it's not gonna move. And the tenant will be responsible for bringing in their own curtains and hanging them, but at least the rod is already there. Some other little things that we did are things like hardware. Just knobs alone, you guys, can make a house feel totally different. We obviously updated light fixtures. So you've got a new kitchen light there. Same thing with the curtain rod up above the window with the sliding door. Updated the light above the sink. And we've got all new stainless appliances. So worth spending a little bit of money. We have a new vent coming as well, so don't judge us on the old vent. That's gonna be out of there. But you know, we spent just a couple $1,000s on updating all the appliances and it makes a huge difference. And for us, it's going to attract the type of person that we want here, right? We want someone who cares about the space, they're gonna enjoy the kitchen, and that's gonna be your best tenant in my opinion. So let's go upstairs. Like I said, we've got all new light fixtures throughout the whole house. These are a really good deal, you guys, and they put out pretty good lights. So you can actually get these in packs of 2 for like $20 from Menards. So we pretty much did the entire house. This one still has to be hung. And then another little cheat that we do is any bifold doors we take out. Okay, I don't like bifold doors for a couple reasons. One, they're ugly, and two, they fall off the tracks all the time. It just creates a headache. It actually looks nice when it's open, and if someone wants to put a tension rod and hang a curtain there, go for it, but I'm not gonna be dealing with calls from tenants about bifolds. This hallway bifold is the only one we left. That's pretty much it. So it feels awesome in here, it feels clean, smells clean, and I'm excited. We're gonna put this thing up for rent. We're gonna see what we can get for it. I'll keep you guys posted on how that goes. All right, hey everybody, you're probably wondering what the numbers look like on this property. As you know, the numbers are the most important part. So let's jump right into this. I think these numbers are wonderful. It tells a great story and it's the reason we made the purchase. So you're gonna see on here the purchase price, kind of an odd number at $203,477. This seller was in a unique situation that he was moving out of state. He had purchased the property less than a year ago and the property did need some work. So once you got some of those things fixed, you got on the market, you add in real estate fees, title fees, taxes, that sort of thing, he probably would have had to bring some money to closing. And so what we agreed to when I sat and talked to him was, we'll come in, purchase the property from you, and we'll just make sure that you walk away totally unscathed. So you won't get a check, you're not going to get any proceeds, but you also won't have to write a check. You'll just break even and wash your hands of the property. He was really excited about that, and that creates a win-win situation for both parties. So we were excited about that as well. So let's take a look at the NOI. The NOI is going to be all of your cash flow minus your expenses. So because this property is in an HOA, there's not really a ton of expenses. We can actually go down here and you can see off to the right, I've got $95 set aside per month for random repairs. Now, some months might be higher than that, some months might be zero, but I like to set 5% of the gross income for the month aside for little improvements like that. You know, the occasional call from the tenant saying you got a leaky sink or whatever is going to be $100 minimum to get somebody out there almost every single time. So for that reason, I set aside 5%. You'll see electricity, it's going to be covered by the tenant, sewer and water, as well as trash and exterior maintenance. So snow and lawn care is actually going to be covered by the HOA, which you'll see we have HOA fees of $236. It's a really nice HOA. I don't typically purchase properties in HOAs because I don't like being at the mercy of their decisions. But when you see one this low, you know, $236 is actually quite cheap. It's not a huge deal for me. So the only other big expense is going to be, two things. Your property taxes, of course. You're just going to take the property taxes, divide them by 12. That's your monthly rate. And then your homeowner's insurance. It's unique in that this is technically it's a condo. And so we are going to purchase something similar, if not exactly what is called an HO6 policy. Now, the building is going to have its own insurance policy, which covers the things on the outside, the roof, the siding, all of that stuff. The doors and the windows are still going to be on the homeowner. The tenant is going to carry their own insurance, which is essentially covering them in the case that they overflow the washer or the sink and it destroys things. But our policy is going to cover all of the things on the inside of it, like the carpet and the appliances and the countertops and all of those things that go inside the four walls of the property. Because it's such a small policy, it's actually quite affordable. It's estimated at $28. I don't have the final number yet, but it should be somewhere around there. So I think that covers all of our expenses. And let me just go down here. This is maybe getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's just go back up here and take a look at this. So we're estimating that we'll get $1,900 a month. I posted it on all the websites yesterday, social media, and we're getting a ton of inquiries. So I think $1,900 a month is reasonable. I do expect to get that. If that's the case, we can expect an NOI of $16,572 per year. Again, that's going to be your gross income minus your expenses. Keep in mind, if you guys have a rental property, you cannot include your mortgage into that NOI number. The NOI needs to be how it will perform for everybody, regardless of whether there's a mortgage or not. So it's just gross revenue minus operating expenses. So after our monthly expenses, we're at $519, which creates a cash flow of $1,381 per month. And this right here is the reason we made this purchase. The purchase cap rate of 8.14%. All the other things, you know, cash on cash when you're spending this much cash is of course going to be low. It's not making a really fast return, but the return over time is excellent. And so for that reason, we made this purchase. So let's go down here and take a look at some of the opportunity down the road. This is where real estate gets really exciting for me, is when you look at where these future values are at. So this is pretty conservative in terms of the growth on expenses and income, as well as property value. We have it just 2%. To give you guys an idea, this property value of 2%, it's been as high as 10% in the last few years. So if that were the case, this would be on a rocket ship. It's not realistic to assume that's gonna happen. In fact, that number could go down. So for that reason, I use 2%. And for me, a great year would be 3 or 4%. Income will obviously follow along with that, and then expenses kind of trails along with that too. So, but this gives you a really great snapshot. Here's what this looks like. Total annual income in year one, you'll see that slowly start to rise. And then you look at total expenses. Again, that's going to slowly start to rise. But the really, really fun part, you guys, is look at that total profit if sold, and then take a look at that annualized return. So I can already look at this form and go, I'm looking around 9% year 1, year 2, year 5, year 10, year 15 even. I'm at 7% plus, and then it's gonna start to decline. But realistically, how long am I gonna wanna hold this? Probably not that long. I could see us holding this for maybe 5 years, maybe 10, depending on what the market looks like. If the market continues on its trajectory, maybe we sell it in a few years. If it goes down, maybe we sell it on the next up. I don't know, but I really love these numbers. This looks really, really solid. So that's really it, you guys. It's a really nice performing property, and we're excited about it. One of the great things about this property too that I haven't shared with you is that we bought this actually with a partnership. And so what's really fun is we've got 4 people who all came together, decided to purchase this because we saw this cap rate and went, okay, I've got X amount of dollars sitting in the bank in a money market account making 4 or 5% at the max. Why don't I put this into something that's gonna get me 8%, but then also it's gonna continue to grow in value. The tenant's gonna pay it down. There's that gap right there where you've got all that equity, that profit if we decide to sell, and then obviously it's cash flowing you as well too. So we're gonna be doing more of this stuff, partnerships. If you're interested in getting involved in some of our partnerships and investing with us, we'll make sure we put that link down in the description. But if you guys have any questions around any of these numbers, the documents, the rental property, or anything else you're considering doing, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm absolutely passionate about this. I love this stuff, and I hope to hear from you. So we'll talk to you guys soon, and we'll see you on the next one.